Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I've got a few pre-show notes for you. First, a reminder. All of the content we produce is available on our website at finalshowfilms.com, as well as youtube.com/senstaku, senstaku.podbean.com, twitch.tv/senstaku, and on iTunes. We are only able to do the things we do thanks to the kind support of our Patreon donors. We give a special shout out to our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic and Cat Waterflame. If you'd like to support us that way, be sure to check it out. Secondly, a thank you to the folks over at 411mania.com. They produce articles and content related to wrestling, MMA, movies, music, and gaming. Go check them out. We appreciate their support as well. And lastly, be sure to subscribe, comment, and rate, if possible, wherever you listen to or watch our content. It helps us know what you like, what you don't like, and helps us make more content. Feedback is always appreciated. With all that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Shadows of the Valley, Episode 4, Consequences. I'm John, the storyteller for the evening, and I'm joined today by Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing, God, what is my fucking character's name?
Kisaki Hisoka?
Kisaki Hisoka, Dragon Investigator.
And Aaron?
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I'm playing Yase Hinanta, the Lion Clan healer.
And Jack?
Hi, I'm Jack. I play Nakano Hayato, the Shisoro Infiltrator. I'm a ninja.
And William.
Hi, I'm William, and I play Ranakane, the Crab Clan Berserker.
And we are short Mara today. Mara is in an airport for the next 2 weeks, apparently. I think that's what was said. I'm not certain why specifically in an airport for 2 weeks, but...
Isn't that a Bill Murray movie?
It's a Tom Hanks movie.
It's a Tom Hanks movie.
Terminal.
Layovers are a bitch. Anyways,
either that or Mara is actually Edward Snowden.
The implications of that are staggeringly horrific. Okay.
Anyways, when last we left our samurai warriors, they had tracked what appears to be the cause of the disappearance of several farmhands from the farming village of Kawanofutago, up into the mountains, where they found a cave that housed a bog hag, whom they dispatched, but not before the bog hag sunk her disease-ridden talons into the fragile, lithe body of Kisaki Hisoka, and then the slightly less fragile, but no less lithe body of Nakano Hayato. And we ended with Renakane.
It's a live stream or a live stream?
I mean, it's a live, yes. And we ended with Renakane sinking her machete into the neck of the beast, beheading it, and looking at Hisoka, who was not feeling very well, and making a quippy comment. And so we return. So, Hisoka and Hayato, you are both feeling you don't have any adverse effects currently, but you know that feeling you get when you know you're sick? You both have that weakness. That's sort of like your muscles are fatigued more than you think they should be. And of course, Hisoka, you're still bleeding, but actually Hayato, you're both still bleeding, but
I'm right next to Hisoka, right?
Yes. You went over to heal him up a little bit.
Yeah. Can I do like a medicine to try and figure out what may be wrong specifically?
Give me a medicine roll.
Okay. 18.
Looking at it, you sort of, put your hand to his head and he has a fever. You sort of go over and he's starting to sweat all over. Like whatever was on and you sort of look over and look at the hands, and the claws of this creature are just covered in gunk, and you imagine that it never cleans its talons, and so it's definitely some sort of infection that he has acquired. And looking at Hayato, who's like sort of also showing some of the same signs, you're pretty certain he has it too.
Well, Hisoka's hit first, so Hisoka probably has less time. Also, I'm kind of probably obligated to fix him first anyways.
Well, yes.
I'm going to use Juntaro's Balm, which is sort of a poison healing
Let's go ahead and roll it. Cast the spell.
thing. We had a long discussion about keywords and how they don't work in this game. So I'm just gonna hope that this works. Yes. Okay, that beats the target number.
Yes. So as you're laying there feeling weak, Hisoka Hinata comes over and pulls out a talisman, puts it on your forehead, draws on it, and focuses, and you feel all this heavy sweat that was on you just sort of evaporate as the spirits sort of flow in and try to correct some of the disease. Hinata, as you look, he still has a fever, but you're pretty certain that the worst part of the disease has been dealt with.
Okay.
But he is definitely going to need some rest as well.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go. I recommend some rest for now.
Hinata-san.
On a sort of related note, this is out of game clarification. Those bonus spells I can do that aren't any specific element. If I recall correctly, I still cast them with the element I'd be using. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Going to look over to Hayato, if you don't mind. And hold out a hand.
While Yase is doing that, Ren just picks the machete up and slings it back over her shoulder. And let this be a lesson. You can't reason with the Shadowlands. It wants to consume everything.
Okay. Success.
All right. And yeah, so Hayato, you present yourself. Your hands are free of weapons. And Hinata comes over and does very much the same thing, and you feel this that sort of burning heat that you were sweating, but the sweat was hot. And that sort of heat from the sweat just sort of evaporates, and you still feel warm like you have a fever, but again, Hinata, the more drastic portion of the disease has been dealt with.
I appreciate your efforts, Yase-sama.
Hisoka gets up to his feet, is like, respectfully. You're talking about trying to reason, which is not what I was trying to do. I was trying to get answers.
A creature like this will give you nothing but lies.
Can I look around
until
see if
we
it
try.
seems like anything else might have come through here?
Sure, give me a investigation roll.
Okay. Just it's not my specialty, but trying to make sure there aren't any other threats right here.
Yeah.
32?
You just judging from the it's hard to tell because you're not familiar with these creatures, so you're not certain what sort of habits they are. The cave doesn't look particularly big. You imagine if there was more than one of them or something else, then it would get pretty crowded.
Okay.
The cave, like most of the cave, is taken up by this cauldron, and there are like dining utensils, and there only seems to be like one set of utensils. So,
Right. And I don't know if I'd just know this or if I'd have to roll. Like, is there something we're supposed to do, or should we just head back and report on this? Do we have to like cleanse the area?
Well, cleansing the area would definitely be a thing you should probably do. Fire is a good way to start.
I can't cast fires.
You can. How many earth spell slots do you have left?
So I have. Let's see. That's sort of why I was asking. I have one water spell left, one earth spell left, 2 air spells left, 2 fire spell slots that I cannot cast with.
Yeah, you can't cast
and
with.
2 additional bonus slots.
You can use. It's not a spell per se, but you can expend a earth spell slot. in order to do a ritual to at least cleanse the land. But the body will continue to exude taint unless it's destroyed.
Ren sort of like with a gloved hand wipes the blood off her
won't
machete
bring it up first, but
and sort of puts the machete back. We need fire.
Hayato goes to cautiously examine the body of the bog hag to see if it can be moved or if it's going to
Sure, give me an investigation check.
need to be. Okay. Investigation.
do we have torches?
I don't know. Do you have torches?
I have a puppy. I think I took a puppy instead of torches.
Does anyone have
19 on
torches?
an investigation roll.
That is the quote for the night already, right there. I am checking.
I mean,
checking.
I
I
have
have a lantern.
I have alcohol for fuel, so
I have a lantern, so I assume I have something with which to light said lantern. Otherwise, it's a pretty goddamn useless lantern.
I've got flint and tinder.
Yeah. So you've got ways to light the lantern. So yeah, you have methods to get fire.
Otherwise, I'm like, all right, I have a small hand mirror. We're going to reflect this just. I need 80 mirrors.
At which point your father goes, "No."
Oh, but Dad.
here's a torch. Do it the right way.
Do it the easy way.
Yeah. So, having sort of looked them over, do I suspect that they're going to need to sleep immediately, or we have time?
You have time. Like they definitely need to get some rest before they'll feel better. But as with anything, the more they exert themselves while still sick, because they are still sick. You cure the disease, but you can't cure the fever. While they're sick, the more they exert themselves, the worse they're going to get. But they have there's a window.
All right. Well, let's clean this up as efficiently as we can, I suppose.
And Hayato, the body can be moved. Like it's not that big. It's bigger than the skin it was wearing, which is laying on the ground still, by the way. Which I'm gonna need everybody that's sort of in that area to give me a meditation roll or a what's a good roll for keeping your calm?
I mean, that's supposed to be.
Normally, that sort of thing is like courtier.
Courtier? Give me give me a roll that you think is appropriate for keeping your calm for your character.
All right, courtier.
Because this is a deboned, demuscled, defleshed human skin bag on the ground.
24.
Can I make an argument for medicine?
No.
Can I just say a straight willpower roll?
Yeah, give me a willpower roll.
Yeah,
Actually, that's actually what it probably would be. It would probably just be a willpower roll.
Do you
rolled a
want us
10.
to change if we've already rolled or no?
if you've already rolled, no.
29.
Damn
Yeah,
it,
son.
because my willpower is definitely better than that. 9.
Blah.
So, yeah, basically all of you are unnerved, both physically and mentally and emotionally. All three of those things. At the sight of this boneless, fleshless skin bag on the ground.
Well, then I'm definitely going to spend an earth spell to try and do some purification on the area.
So give me a spellcaster roll.
Hato's gonna go look for wood to
Yeah, I was
burn.
about to say, I'm heading out to use this machete, which is basically an axe to chop some trees
Yeah.
and get some firewood
The
going.
two of you go, all right, getting out.
So this is, the DC isn't relevant, but this is the earth spell I have access to, so it's the same roll.
Is
22.
there a spellcasting skill?
Oh, like spellcasting as
Yeah,
a skill
yeah,
check.
yeah,
Yes,
the skill
I
check.
can do that.
Spellcraft, sorry.
Spellcraft.
Yeah. Sorry,
It's
this game. 14.
All right. So you very hurriedly begin setting up the wards that you need, like just trying to put that bag of flesh out of your mind. But the problem is, once you've identified it as a bag of flesh, that's all you can really think about, and so you're just. And you put the wards up, write them out as quickly as you can, expend the spell slot, and perform a cleansing ritual. You're not certain how effective it is. You've never actually done this ritual before. You've just read about it before, but you have performed.
We may wish to have someone more specialized come here to assure that everything was done correctly, but I've done what I can for now.
Wonderful.
And this is not a very forested area that you guys are at, but there are some lightly growing deciduous trees. What trees grow on
Deciduous are the
mountain?
ones coniferous usually.
Coniferous. Those ones.
If it needle leaf.
There you go. Growing
Tiny.
like sort of in the mountain range, so in individual like groves, so you can get
Perfect.
some wood.
Soft sapwood. Burns quick.
Yeah, and
Machete.
Akane just knocks them down with the machete. And you guys have some lumber.
I'd proceed to drag back.
Yeah,
Bring it back
Hayato will
in.
help drag it back and start setting up
With
All
my
right.
prodigious strength
a
of
little
3.
pyre.
Yep, you guys sort of set up a pyre in the middle. Do you put anything on the pyre, or do you just let it burn and hope it takes everything with it?
I'm gonna not the entire bottle because I also drink this stuff, but just with the bottle of shochu, kind of spread alcohol around the den to add some fuel
Yeah.
to help this fire spread.
Okay. So boom.
But I'm also aware that most things tainted by Shadowlands taint burn rather well. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, Shadowlands taint is very
Fire is one of the things that you're taught to use on the wall. That's everyone on the wall knows that. Whether or not it's true, you might not know. But fire good.
Shadowlands stuff takes well to fire.
This all can burn. And you just like dump a little bit extra on the flesh bag and on the bog hag.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably gonna get a new bottle soon, but
That cauldron. Wasn't there like a big bubbly
There
cauldron
is a big
thing?
bubbly cauldron.
What does the fire underneath it look like? Regular fire?
No.
Okay, then we're staying the fuck away from that.
It burns with sort of a greenish blackish color.
Have we looked in the cauldron yet?
We knew it was bubbly.
Yes, but have we
gooey-ness.
looked inside?
You have not actually looked
No.
inside yet.
Well, Isoka's an idiot.
he's also an investigator.
He's also an investigator. So he's going to go over to the cauldron and look inside.
Okay. So first thing you notice, there's like sort of a little hanging, like sort of like an iron piece that hangs above it, on which there's hanging a ladle. You sort of look
Yeah.
in, and there is the water is sort of a murkish brownish red, and there seems to be chunks of meat in it, from what you can tell.
All right,
You can make a
Leatherface.
reasonable assumption about what kind of meat it is.
There's a ladle if you want to scoop some out and investigate further.
And Dark Fate takes so no, I'm kidding. No, I think it is safe to say that is where the investigation ends.
I believe you found where the insides to the flesh bag went.
Yes.
All right, and so do you all vacate the cave?
Yes.
Yup.
And on my way out, Hayato, can I borrow that flint and tinder? I strike one of the spare pieces of wood until it's lit, and then just hurl it into the center of the area where everything's piled.
The cave goes up. You guys are standing far enough back, but the flames even come out of the cave entrance, and you notice most of the fire is your traditional reddish orange. A small amount of it burns black, And then after a few minutes, a huge gout of black and green fire sort of erupts out, and then it returns to the reddish orange of natural fire.
We should have this investigated again in a day or so to ensure that none of it was neglected or...
Jack, you're real quiet.
I'm a ninja.
There you go. That's better.
I heard you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a good idea. Yes, absolutely.
If I might recommend that we return, we should. Some of you need rest.
Yes, that would be good.
You all head back into town, presumably back to your hotel, to your inn.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And begin and go up to take some rest. So the two of you that are sick. Oh, go ahead.
There's something that takes precedence over that first,
Okay.
which is notifying the local authorities. And since these people were missing and not dead yet, not confirmed dead yet, notifying the families.
Okay.
So he's going to go around and do that
Do you go to the magistrate first?
yes.
After informing the magistrate, he seems to indicate that it is his duty to inform the families.
Very well.
And so he will
That
thank you.
That would be even better.
He will thank you for your information, and he will begin the very somber task of informing people that their family was eaten.
Yes.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Your son has been devoured.
And worn like a pretty, pretty dress.
Perhaps the magistrate is not the best person to break this news.
No, he wouldn't say that, but...
I kind of like the idea that he does.
He wouldn't be a magistrate if he was
Never
Nathan
gonna rip off
Fillion.
my horn? My beautiful, beautiful horn.
He would not be a magistrate if he was Nathan Fillion.
Hinata will just stick at Hisoka's side if he insists on doing stuff will still hurt.
Eventually, Hisoka, I feel like you will retire to some sleep.
Yes. Yeah. And let the magistrate know we will be checking that place again in a couple of days to make sure.
Yes.
Because we want to make sure that this is actually resolved and not go, well, we got one, time to go. and then the other 4 show up. Turns out this was
we got Josie, but not the Pussycats.
I mean, it turns out this was the baby, and Mama's mad now.
Just the baby, and Mama's mad.
And that town was never heard from again.
Hayato's going to go to his room, shut the door, do whatever he can to lock it. I don't know if they have locks in Rokugan. Okay.
There's the sort of the front chamber doesn't have a lock. It's just a sliding rice paper door. Mm-hmm. The back door does have a lock though. Like the bedroom door has a lock.
Right. He's gonna pull out and cleanse Yukigiri. Make sure there's no remnants of hag on the blade.
You notice actually as you pull it off, as you pull it out, you notice that nothing of the hag stuck to the blade.
Awesome. He's gonna go through the cleaning and maintenance as possible, but yeah.
But you do notice that, like as you pull it out, expecting it to become, because you when you hit people with it, it certainly gets blood and guts and stuff all over it. Mm-hmm. But as you pull it out, it looks as if you never touched it. Something about the blade seems to have repelled the innards of the hag. Mm-hmm. So much so that it didn't stick when you sliced through.
I look in my scabbard to make sure they're not just like hanging out in there.
No. You look in. There's nothing in the scabbard either. And you weren't thinking about it at the time because you were busy trying to kill it before it killed other people. But Akane's machete definitely had hag guts all over it.
Akane definitely had to thoroughly clean her
Yeah,
machete.
Akane had to clean the machete, but as you look at this, no, there's no trace of the creature on it.
Okay. So we will just wrap that right back up and stash it and lay down in our bed.
The royal ninja Wii.
Yes.
The Royal Ninja Wii. So, as Hisoka and Hayato lay down to rest and recover, Hinata and Akane, what are the two of you doing?
Hinata's going to ensure that they get particularly healthy food, just sort of that sort of thing. And not vocalizing this to anyone without doing so. Can Hinata, like, how much risk or danger is there of taint having transferred or something?
If you get hit by something, then like, also all of you did notice that the jade pendant that Hisoka and Hayato is carrying has darkened slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Ever so slightly.
Not so much to be like a cloud of darkness, but slightly. You do know that without jade on your person, being hit by, being injured by a Shadowlands creature is very likely to have passed the taint on. With the jade, though, you assume the jade did its job.
Okay.
Good to know.
How close is it, by the way, for Akane having to roll once a month for the Seeds of Darkness?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, yay! I didn't get 0.1 to the taint to go with the 0.5 I already have.
But yeah, no, you would have because you saw the jade darken, you would assume the jade did its job.
Okay.
Now, whether or not the jade doing its
Sorry,
job
I
means
needed
they're
to
not
ask
tainted or
because
not.
Mara wasn't here to do it very openly.
Yeah. Whether or not that now you can still be suspicious because you're not as familiar with how jade works in relation to Shadowlands Taint. So if that's something that you would want to double check, you certainly could.
I'll say this because it has been a few weeks. Hinata has made it very public that she has the ability to check if either of them are concerned, but she has no reason to distrust Akane or Hinata's me. Hisoka's specialty in knowing things about this.
That was your first mistake. That is what we will look back later on and say, that's where the campaign went wrong.
She is not assuming that bad faith on any other member of the party.
Yeah.
But yeah, if everyone would be aware that she can check if they need her to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Akane, are you doing anything?
She just kind of, while alone in her room after having cleaned off the machete, kind of stands it up against the back wall of her room and just kind of steps back from it and looks at it for a second. Well, Father, things are getting a little more interesting around here. I don't know what I think, but danger has arrived. The Shadowlands is making its way here. Now I know why I'm here and not on the wall. And I hope you're still watching over me. As she puts the blade back in on its rack and goes to sleep.
All right. And so you all rest for the rest of the day, basically, because it was still roughly noon.
Yeah.
Hisoka and Hayato, I need both of you to roll me Earth Ring.
Waterflame.
Oh, and just because, not because she genuinely thinks ill of either of them, but Hinata will be doing
That's a 9.
what she can to essentially, like, she's resting, but she's keeping an eye out, make sure none of the people on enforced bed rest happen to wander off or feel that they need to go do something.
Probably a good thing.
So that was a 7.
All right. So you both recover. Wounds equal to your twice your stamina trait plus your insight rank. So you recover wounds equal to that. However many you were down previously.
So for plus insight?
Yeah, plus your insight rank.
Insight rank.
So yours is currently 2, I think. So
right, so I get 6 back. Oh well, then I'm almost good.
I think I'm still insight rank 1.
yeah, I believe you are.
I'm just a wee bit nicked.
All right. But as you sleep, you are both haunted by unsettling dreams. Hisoka, you recall the time that you were sent out to the Shadowlands previously.
Mm-hmm.
And you recall just sort of the innate terror that Tainted Land instills in people, especially people that have only seen it for the first time. There's this sense of wrongness. The land warps, and plants and animals behave in ways they shouldn't, and mutate in ways that are unnatural. And just this fear of that happening to you sort of pervades your dream. And you relive the memories of everything that happened on your event out to the Shadowlands.
Okay.
Hayato, you are treated to the events that led to you acquiring Yukigiri. Yukigiri is the name of your sword. Only this time, it's not So who you attempted to retrieve it from. It is a massive monster of darkness, just silhouetted with hair hanging down. It seems to its waist, but seems to be alive. And this creature, standing 8 feet tall, looks down at you, and you feel so small. You feel as if it could just step on you and that would be the end of you. And as it looks down, it just rears back, and you see this massive hand curl into a fist. And this fist swings towards you, and it moves as if it's in slow motion, but you can't move out of the way. You're rooted in place. And just before this fist comes into contact with you, you flash back to the prison cell in Tengoku no Mizumi, where this man's head was splattered across the wall. And you think, that fist could do that.
Yep.
And then you wake up the next day.
Cold sweat. Huh?
Yeah. Definitely in a cold sweat. Your fever.
Yeah.
Both of you wake up the next day. Everyone wakes up the next day. Your fever broke in the night. You are feeling much better, but you are both like the bed is soaked, and so are you.
Madam Hiroki will not be pleased with that. And I go make tea.
Yeah, I do some good solid mental centering and then go for a bit of a walk.
You step outside. As you step outside, the cold winter's air sort of perks you up almost immediately with that.
Mhm.
That I've been sweating all night, and now I step into a freezer. Ooh, this is actually pretty nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hinata and Akane, you both wake up as well after resting and keeping an eye on them, making sure that they were resting and being fed. What are you guys doing as you wake up?
She kind of like sits up. I need coffee. And it kind of makes her way down to get something to wake up in the morning.
Oh yeah, no, you can get coffee or tea.
Yeah. Something that wakes people up.
Hinata?
Going down, getting breakfast. If I see anyone else, I guess.
Yeah, you'll see Akane.
Okay.
And probably Hayato as well, drinking tea.
Are you all right? I don't think you were. Were you injured during the fight at all?
No. Creature never touched me.
The three of you.
Which is when Hayato comes in with a tray of tea and 4 cups and sets it down and starts pouring.
You all do notice that Hisoka's not there. Hisoka is out for a walk.
Uh-huh.
Are you walking anywhere in particular, Hisoka?
No, just going for a clear head.
So you're the
just
bait.
sort of more or less. Clear head, get sort of a sense, walk around sort of the main center of town area, get a sense for the town, village,
It seems like
community.
you get the sense that everybody in this town woke up 3 hours ago, except for you guys. And because the town is fairly lively, you get a sense that while this is primarily a farming community, it is also, as you've been told, a sort of a tourist location. Traders and merchants coming from the port and heading north come through here and rest here and stop here. And as such, there is a large sort of commercial district that the inn is sort of in the middle of, with shops for various knickknacks and accoutrement, things that can only be found in Kawano Fudago. You know, kitschy tourist stuff. And also, you know, restaurants and food establishments that wouldn't necessarily come up in any other kind of small village like this. Places that exist only to serve food are a rarity in most villages. So the fact that there are more than one here really sort of screams to what their enterprise is, other than farming.
Right. Okay.
And it's fairly peaceful. You imagine that those that have... You do notice that there is an uptick in people dressed in black today. The previous day, there was a lot more colors. There were a lot more colors around, even though it's winter. So you imagine that word has definitely gotten around about the events, the results of your investigation.
Okay.
Are those mantis archers still here?
No, they seem to have moved on. They're not there. They're not here this morning.
Okay.
Give me a perception roll, though. Those of you that are in the tavern. How long are you wandering around before heading back, Hisoka?
Maybe hour.
Okay.
You said people in the tavern make a perception check?
Yeah, people in the tavern make a perception check. So Hinata,
21.
Akane, and Hayato. Yes, the perception attribute trait.
Oh, okay. Damn it, not an investigation. Let me roll that again.
30.
15. I have one eye closed. Hinata has both eyes open.
15,
You may have been rolling your
and-
strength instead of your perception.
Whoops.
Yeah, you were rolling your strength.
Let's try
It's
this one more
weird
time.
because it's
10.
right
There we go.
in the the formatting's weird.
A 1 and a 9. So yeah, Hayato, yeah, you're still recovering and drinking.
Mhm.
Akane and Hinata, you guys, you notice the Mantis archers aren't there, but you do notice somebody new, who just sort of draws your attention because this is a person that very much stands out from a crowd. by virtue of the fact that they're sitting by themselves. In a corner of the inn, there is a person wearing yellow, sort of faded yellow robes that appear to be particularly heavy. You notice on one shoulder there's actually sort of an armored pauldron that ties down to sort of an arm guard on the left-hand arm, on the left arm. And leaning against the wall next to them is a large bicento, not of a very different style to the one that your master has, Akane. And on the table, in front of him is a plate of food, and then a katana and a wakizashi, and he seems to have basically occupied the entirety of the table with his weapons and gear. He has a very heavy black beard and long hair tied up into a foxtail. And it seems like the robe is sort of styled so that it covers... It's sort of... If he wasn't wearing the armor that you can now see underneath it, it would only cover, like, one half of his torso. The armored... It would cover only, like, his left side. His right-hand side is mostly bare, except for the armor underneath it. And yeah, he just stands out, along with the large straw hat that he has sort of hanging off of his back.
Yellow would be my clan's color, isn't it?
Yellow is a Lion Clan color. It's also a Dragon Clan color and a couple other things. But he's not wearing it in such a way that it seems to have, at the very least, if he is a member of a clan,
it's not a signifier of clan.
It may have been at one point, but it hasn't been kept up enough to be that anymore.
Yeah.
It's faded, as if it's been in the sun for a very long time.
Am I obligated to do something about this or introduce myself to this person?
No,
socially?
he just drew your attention because he's very odd looking compared to the rest of the people, and most people in the tavern are people that are just sort of dressed down to just their clothes. It's very odd to see people wearing armor and weapons in the tavern.
Well, then I'll just...
Combination of how he's dressed and his weapons and the faded nature of his outfit. Does this individual strike me as Ronin?
Give me an etiquette roll.
I'll continue waiting around to see if Hayato or Hisoka shows up.
I mean, Hayato's there. Hisoka's not.
Oh.
16.
Potentially. He's certainly not repping his clan, if he is a clan samurai. But that's not so unusual if you're traveling by yourself for whatever reason. So he could very well be a Ronin.
Do I see? Does he have a katana or just the bicento?
He has a bicento, a katana, and a wakizashi.
Okay, yeah. So he does have the full set.
Yeah.
As sort of, Hinata will just sort of look over Hayato, sort of ask him questions. Has his fever gone down? Sort of basic medical stuff.
I'm feeling much better this morning. Thank you.
Can I make a medicine roll in relation to trying to... Okay. Just trying to ensure that it has sort of rusted off, that he doesn't need another day or two.
Give me a medicino roll.
Or if anything seems to have gotten worse, not quite been fully healed or cleansed.
Akane meanwhile is just kind of like...
Seems fine to you.
That was meditation. I need medicine, which is the other one.
Meditation, not medicine.
14.
14. He definitely looks. You can tell he doesn't have a fever anymore. Okay. That's sort of the first, and he is He's moving a little stiffly, like maybe he didn't sleep too well. But that is to be expected when you are sick.
Yeah.
He'll answer your questions and then immediately turn it around. And you, Yase-sama, are you feeling any ill effects from the conflict yesterday?
I believe I'm all right. I was not injured.
Very good.
Akane's just kind of nursing her coffee while she's like sort of keeping an eye on the individual across the tavern sitting by themselves, just taking like occasionally taking a drink, trying to wake up while just kind of glaring at them, basically.
He seems to be not looking in your direction.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would be in his line of sight, but he seems to just be ignoring
Like,
your presence.
I'm over here. He's looking over here.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping an eye on him.
Yep. After about 20 or minutes or so, he's been just eating food. Hisoka returns.
Kisaki-sama, how are you this morning?
Feeling much better.
That is good to hear. And same as with Hayato, just sort of basic questions.
Mm-hmm.
Sure your fever broke, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also sort of looking him over, testing his responses, stuff like that.
Okay.
15.
Yeah, it seems to have, again, it's pretty much the same thing. The fever's definitely broken, seems to be a little shaky, probably didn't sleep well.
I'm the medic. If you were still poisoned, that would be bad on me. So, yeah.
That's fair.
Kisaki-sama, should we
Then of
adjourn
course,
to
sort
more
of-
private quarters to discuss
Yes.
what it is we do now?
Now that we are all up and prepared to face the day, I think that is a good choice.
Have you
Good plan. I have not yet. I can wait. This is more important.
Hayato
Can-
will wait until
I don't know if this is an
Hisoka
etiquette thing.
directs as to where he wants to
Can we
adjourn
bring-
to.
Aaron?
I don't know if this is an etiquette thing that I'll have to roll, or if it would be. I assume it would be obvious to my character. Can we bring food up to the rooms?
Yes.
I would
Okay.
assume that would not be an issue. Yes.
Yes.
Then Hinata's going to be sure that you eat because you've got to hurt. It's not put like that though. It's more of like a just very calmly ensures that she's got a full plate of food for
Mm-hmm.
each of the injured people.
Right.
So Hisoka, Hayato, and Hinata begin to go up the stairs. Akane, do you follow, or do you continue staring at this strange man?
There's probably about like another 20 seconds of just kind of keeping an eye on him before putting the drink down empty, standing up, and going up the stairs.
Give me a perception check, real quick.
Perception trait. Same as my strength trait. 33.
Damn.
So you sort of notice, as you get up and begin to leave, you notice his eyes flick towards you.
He's
And
watching me out of the corner of his eye.
For a moment, you lock eyes. Give me a willpower roll.
Wah, wah, wah.
27.
You get, for just the briefest of moments, as you lock eyes, there's this pulse of tension. And
Spark lightning immediately.
you don't feel overwhelmed by it. But the look that you are given is the look of a man who has seen 1,000 more battles than you have.
Which is impressive because I've seen plenty.
And who, like, he does not belong in polite society.
Mm.
He has seen too much conflict and killing to ever belong in polite society again. And just this, like, he doesn't look at you like a person, he looks at you like a target. Like he is calculating exactly how to take you apart. Just passively, not even like,
Yeah.
not intentionally.
This man's a warhound.
And you sort of get this faintest feeling of terror that you immediately suppress with your iron will of this man. You don't even think he's doing it consciously, but he wants to kill you.
He's a warhound.
Yeah, like there's,
It's something that a lot of Crab Clan become after too many years on the battlefield.
and that's part of why you recognize it. Like he's definitely not Crab Clan. He doesn't carry himself as Crab Clan. Nothing on him screams Crab Clan. But you would be, if this man were to go up against a Crab Clan berserker, you wouldn't know who to bet money on.
Mm.
And then you get that just from that brief moment of locking eyes, and then he immediately returns his gaze back to his food.
There's just that brief moment of lightning spark between the two
Yeah.
of them, and she just acknowledges a superior opponent and
Yeah.
heads up the stairs.
Yep. And so the four of you adjourn to one of your rooms, presumably Hisoka's,
Yes.
in the office.
So-
As you guys go in, Hinata comes in with 2 trays of food and puts them down very gently and very officially in front of the both of you.
Give a little bit of a bow and take my seat.
So, obviously we need to follow up. Make sure that we didn't only pull out one route, we got everything in that particular issue. I feel like
Somebody's watching me.
Do I know whether or not hags tend to be solitary, or do they tend to have like a couple with them?
Give me a Shadowlands knowledge roll.
Shadowlands lore.
Shadowlands lore.
15.
If you want, anyone else who has Shadowlands lore can also roll if they'd like.
okay.
I say knowing only one of you has it.
Do. Skills. Also 15.
So that's your first time encountering a hag for both of you. So you're not 100% certain, but it seemed like a solitary creature. And based on now that you know it could travel under the water, the locations of the locations of the kidnappings make sense. With the exception of some of the more mountain-oriented farms on that end, most of the farms were easily accessible if they could go up and down the river, on both sides of town and on the river. Because it would be very easy to, in the same night, go down the river and get somebody from the other side of town. So there could be more than one, but it would make sense what you have would make sense if there was only one. Still worth checking, but
Yeah.
that's what the two of you do.
So, okay. Beyond that, I'm trying to remember what else we have to do.
We have to run down to prep for the Mantis Clan ambassadors to arrive, but that's in like a month.
We also have...
Well, 3 weeks at this point, but
Yeah.
no, just only been 2 days.
How far does that, how long is that trip? Is that, going to take us those weeks to get there?
Another day.
Okay.
It'll take another day to get down to the port. Your task was to deal with whatever was causing the disappearances in town. Also to secure the land secure basically the area. Make sure nothing else is happening that might cause trouble for the ambassadors when they get here. And how you choose to do that is up to you. That's pretty that was left pretty open ended. And then in a month's time, go down to the port, retrieve the ambassador, bring him back, bring him up to Kawanuftago.
There's still the
Yes.
issue of the monastery outside Tengoku no Mizumi.
There absolutely is. There is the issue of... Hold on just a second. I think I wrote this down somewhere. The Akujin matter.
Yes. As well as those traps we found along the road outside this village.
Yes. That's actually a good point. We never asked about those damn traps. Sorry, we never asked about those traps.
I assume some level of discretion would be advisable, given that it may be seen as a slight upon the magistrate's ability to govern this territory your father has given him responsibility for.
Of course.
And the subtext of, so probably don't send me, is fairly evident there.
So can you go handle that? No.
Did you go talk to the magistrate and tell him he fucked up? No.
No, because what it would be is, the way Hisoka would probably handle it is somebody is doing vigilante stuff. Vigilante stuff is not allowed. I'm going to hide near the traps, and when somebody shows up to catch them, I kill them.
But yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I just like the idea of like...
Not that Hisoka knows that.
No.
No. Not at all.
I like the idea of Hayatu like essentially doing the big the verbal and non subtle the big like wink, as you say, clearly indicate, and Soka winks back and says, "Okay, go ahead and handle it." It's not what happens, but I am not entirely. I think, and I look over at Akane. I would feel like, and I don't know if you agree, that this Hag appearance is not necessarily unrelated to the Akujin situation.
I don't think it's unrelated, but Shadowland's taint tends to congregate. I don't know that they're necessarily being directed together.
No. Yes,
so much as simply the strength of the taint has congealed and drawn more than one creature.
Correct. Drawn the Hag, drawn whatever else, because there was indications of something else having come, right?
There was a wraith, a revenant in the catacombs underneath the thing, and you assume, well, Hayato posited that whoever stole the scroll probably left that behind, which would indicate Maho.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I feel like we've cut out the initial problem here. I feel like we should continue to look into things, perhaps see if we can determine where this Hag came from. If I remember correctly, there was something about the mountains and it coming from the mountains, but I may be wrong.
We suspected that the creature was hiding somewhere in the mountains, and we determined that traveled through the rivers because I did divination stuff, and then we found it in a mountain cave.
Right.
I don't know if, actually, I'm not sure if a character knows, but I don't know if like our obligation would be to track how it had traveled to this point. Which we did suspect would go through the on the map sort of. I believe we were thinking it was probably going up the rivers this way that it came to be.
So it was on this river, was the eastern river.
I seem to recall that there was some speculation that it had come to be here, not Shadowlands area, past the wall through a river. But I don't know if that was actually a thing any of us said, or if that's even accurate.
As to whether or not as to whether or not it's your duty to do that, that's up to you guys. That's how you interpret your orders. Your orders were resolve the issue.
Yeah.
So how far along the chain you feel like pursuing that is your interpretation of that order.
I think.
And then we need to sort of secure stuff down this way.
I mean, the ostensible the immediate threat to this town perhaps has been resolved. But if this, first of all, I think the Sakujin thing is something that has a much wider impact to our lands potentially. And even if we ignore that, whatever drew the hag here because of that may draw something else here. So I don't think we're done with our job.
I believe the Akujin might be the reason that the hag arrived in the first place.
Exactly. Yes.
The weaker shadows come in the wake of the greater shadows.
Mm-hmm. We are in agreement.
So I think our primary target should be the Akujin and finding out where it came from and how it came to these lands. If we can figure out where it entered the valley from, we might be able to find the source of the taint that is drawing other creatures here.
Yes.
Very well.
I feel like there are a couple ways that could happen. That could happen. If our theory is right, which is not yet conclusively proven, but if our theory is right, more is going to come. More will come here. And we can perhaps get some information out of them. The other possibility would be trying to find its original location deeper in the mountains.
There are a few beasts of the Shadowlands that can even speak. Those that can are difficult. But there will be more.
That is entirely true. We had one, but we'll simply have to find another.
Well, it had you, really.
Yes, but it was...
Yes, you were the voice in the sky.
Don't argue the other PC's point. I'm having enough of a difficult time trying to argue the blatantly wrong point right now, okay?
It's fine.
It wasn't exactly going to give us the chance to speak to it, and I doubt many others would.
So what then would you consider to be the wisest course of action from this point?
The taint spreads. It causes anomalies. It causes wildlife to either flee or go rabid. I think finding a beast is easier by finding its wake. If we can find areas of disturbance where the spirits are unwell, where beasts have gone rampant, trace it back to its source.
I was going to say, do you think based off the cave, that cave and knowing that it was traveling by water, you could track where that egg came from?
Do we know where the source of the water in the mountains is?
Is that a question for me or a question in game?
Do we know
That's a question to the group, because
Okay.
I don't know.
and that's the
Do
point
we?
where Jerry says, do we?
No.
I mean, finding the headwaters of a water course is usually pretty easy as long as you don't
Yes.
mind long hikes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not. Those mountains aren't mapped, so
Okay.
you'd have to hike and find it.
Well, we'll fix that.
There is definitely a possibility that the corruption lies deeper within the mountains.
I think that is very likely. I don't think it
Then-
is the only place to be concerned about, but I think it is at least a starting point.
Given that we have several weeks before the ambassadors are due to arrive, and if the magistrate will be kind enough to assist us in supplying ourselves, I believe a foray into the mountains might be
Is
a tactically advantageous attempt.
Yes.
Asking just so we just because it is something that you would think of. Do you want to report back to your father? You were
That is part of the plan. Yes.
Okay. You were told that Hayato has ways to report back.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't involve going back.
That don't involve going back or sending an unsecure letter. Yes.
Well, an unsecured bird, probably, but
That's exactly.
That's more secure than a letter.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
More secure than
Hayato-
handing it to some peasant that doesn't have anything to do and saying, go!
Hayato knows.
That direction.
Hayato knows where the for lack of a better term, Lord's messengers are in all the towns.
Peasant, go that way. Be careful. There are things out there that are killing very, very adept guards and stuff. Go
You'll
on.
be fine.
Go on. You'll be fine. No, you don't need help. Just you.
Start walking. Make sure this letter gets to the right people.
You would. Everyone give me perception checks real quick. The perception trait.
Somebody's listening in
I'm
on us.
not. I don't know that the samurai
22.
from downstairs is listening right now.
5.
Really? 3 dice and then 9.
So Akane and Hinata, because it was a TN of 10,
Well,
hear a cart pulling past the tavern at a higher pace than you would expect a cart rolling through town.
is there a window?
In the bedroom portion of the room, yes, that is currently closed.
I immediately start walking, try to find the window.
So do you lock? Would you have locked your bedroom door, Hisoka?
Yes.
Kind of, you go to the door and grab the handle and click, 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 click.
Do you hear that?
Yes, it seems that there is some sort of commotion outside. A cart or something, perhaps?
All right, Hayato is headed for the door, headed
Seems
downstairs
worth
as
investigating.
quickly and quietly as possible, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right, we are making a sneaking roll. That's a 22.
So, while everyone looks over at Akane, anyone that wants to can make a perception check.
Sure, why not?
I mean, I'm looking in the direction that he's leaving, so
20?
I'm looking at the rest of the group.
20.
18.
Not
He's
good
gone.
enough.
And
but-
none of you.
So the three of you sort of converge your eye lines in such a way that you are all blocking each other from seeing Hayato as he whooshed out the door.
At least we very quickly realize he's
Oh
gone.
no! You very quickly you hear the rice paper door open and look over and it's open and realize Hayato's not there.
We just hear the sound of ripping and look and see just like a person's outline in the rice paper.
No, it was. But yeah, while
like a 4-foot slit.
While Akane was busy trying to get through the door that was locked, Hayato went through the door that can't be locked.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was just trying to see rather than go. But,
Yeah, that's fair.
quickly but not running, going down to see what this cart's doing and where it's going.
All right, so you're gonna get out there first, but the other three of you, are you following or are you staying up there?
Once I realized the door's open, yeah.
Hinata?
She'll probably wander down. Like with the very ice princess, I don't have to run. Nothing is currently obliging me to. Just dainty.
Hisoka?
Going.
Yep. So Hayato, you're the first one to arrive, and you see a cart pulling up with several injured people in it. They have bandaged arms and head and limbs, and some of them are laying unconscious as the rider of this cart very hurriedly sort of pulls up towards heading towards the magistrate's office. And you see people coming out to attend them and tend their wounds and take them inside.
Okay.
And then you sort of sit, by the time the others sort of realize what's happening, get down, because it was going by so fast. by the time Hisoka and Akane get out there, most of them are already in the magistrate's office, and the cart is parked by the office. And then by the time Hinata gets down there, nobody's in the cart anymore.
Okay. Given what Hayato knows of how people generally interact, I assume there's some crosstalk happening, so he's going to try and listen in on that as much as he can while following whoever seems to have been driving it into the magistrates.
All right, give me an investigation roll.
16.
It seems like this group of people, from what you're gathering, these are loggers,
Okay.
that were basically riding logs down the river towards the logging town at the end of the river.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to have been attacked by something in the forest. That's most of what you pick up as you follow into the magistrate's office. Akane and Hisoka, you guys sort of arrive down there. Hayato's nowhere in sight, and there's a cart that you don't recognize over by the magistrate's office with some people being pulled out of it and brought into the magistrate's office.
Working over to the magistrate.
All right. And then Hinata, you get down there in time to see the two of them walking towards the magistrate's office.
I'll follow. I'll actually probably exert some effort to catch up.
So you catch up right about the time the two of them are hitting
Actually,
the door.
I don't have to exert effort to catch up. My water ring is significantly the highest in the group,
It is.
meaning that I just catch up because I have a good pace.
You're very light and nimble. But yeah, you catch up roughly right as they're hitting the door. So the three of you enter at the same time. Hayato, you go in by yourself. There's people being sort of reorganized and moved around. Rooms are being opened up and people are being put in there. You see Shugenja being called in and beginning to administer wounds.
I'm looking for whoever seems like they're going to be delivering the report.
Yeah, there's a bushi that's sort of directing traffic right now. Not the magistrate, obviously, but yeah, there's a green and gold armored samurai with a pair of swords on his hip.
What has happened here?
Looks at you, and sort of he's sort of busy trying to think and talk at the same time now, and doing that thing that you do where you have a thought but you can't enunciate it because you're pointing.
Right.
Which seems like some loggers were attacked in the forest. I haven't quite gotten the story yet.
I would be, can I make a courtesy roll of basically trying to say, well, then you take care of this and I will go talk to whoever knows the
Give
story.
me a courtesy roll.
All right. 32.
That was an etiquette roll.
Yeah, that's my, sorry.
Sorry,
courtesy is my
it's a
emphasis.
question. Are you trying to... Sorry, Courtier. Are you trying to say that, or are you asking if that would be okay to be said?
I'm asking if that would be okay to say. Which I assume would be etiquette.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would
right.
if you could present yourself as somebody of authority, then it would absolutely be fine for you to say, hey, you do thing, I'll do that.
Are.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, Hayato is basically going to say, as a representative of Kisaki Domo's family and a attendant of his son, I would be happy to take responsibility for gathering the information while you see to the more pressing needs of the health and well-being of these citizens.
Yes, sir. I would appreciate that very much.
Very well. Is there anybody who's obviously like the most coherent or cognizant of the victim / driver?
Yeah, the cart driver.
Okay. I'll go over and start talking to him.
All right. He's sort of sitting off to one corner, just watching the chaos. And at roughly this point is where the other three of you sort of hit the door and come in, and you see this massive amount of people being shuttled around inside the building.
Are there
many of them
still
wounded and injured?
Are there still people being brought in?
No, everybody's been brought in.
Okay.
At this point, you also, Akana, you would have noticed the samurai that you locked eyes with was still in the inn eating. So,
Fuck's given
Didn't hurt these people.
Fuck's given actually currently -10.
Good morning, sir. What is your name?
But the three of you see Hayato talking to this individual who I have to come up with a name for real quick.
Probably without quite as much courtesy as might be. Courteously but efficiently, Hinata is going to excuse herself to go help the other healers.
Hisako, he says.
Yes.
I am...
No. Hisako
Hisako.
is the name of the person.
Hisako.
I hate you.
Isoka Hisako Hayato.
Hinata.
Hinata.
Yeah.
It's an honor to make your acquaintance. I understand you were attacked. Can you tell me what happened?
I wasn't attacked. He points at the I'm a cart driver from the port. They were attacked, and he says, indicating the people who were injured. I don't know precisely what happened. I was coming back up here. I was heading back to the port when I heard a commotion, pulled over to the river, and saw a bunch of people fleeing for their lives. Got them in my cart and brought them back here.
Did you see what they were fleeing from?
No.
And can you tell me where it was that you pulled off the road to assist these citizens?
And he'll indicate. Effectively, it was right at the fork.
Okay. So further down, like towards the south.
Like
kind
basically,
of?
like sort of at the midway point between Kao no Futago and Ichizoku no Minato.
Okay, gotcha.
From the river.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fork in the road, not fork in the river. Okay.
Yeah, fork in the road.
Gotcha. I understand. Were you coming from Shinrin no Hashi or Ichizoku no Minato?
Ichizoku no Minato. Oh, heading to Ichizoku no Minato.
Okay. Very well. Are there any other oddities you've noticed? There have been disturbances in the land of late.
Looks at them. That many injured folk is probably an oddity, yeah. He doesn't seem like he knows what you're asking.
Okay.
But like he's mostly just concerned that there were a lot of people running away from something in the forest.
Okay. Well, thank you for helping your fellow citizens. Should you require anything, please speak to me and we will see that your needs are taken care of until you can get back on the road to your objective.
He nods and just sort of leans back, and he's sort of you're not certain. He's definitely in a form of shock. Like I just took a lot of lives into my responsibility and managed to get them here successfully. It's
I'm a goddamn hero.
it's that like I don't know what I should do with myself right now. I feel like I should help, but I've already helped. I'm not like he's very much in that I'm not certain what I'm supposed to do now phase. And as far as it looks like nobody's given him any instructions. He's just been sort of like pushed off to one side, and he's just like watching and like wanting to help, but I'm not able to.
Okay. I'll look around and get him a cup of tea, and then go find
Produce
Hisoka.
a cup of tea from your robe.
Right, yeah. Tea space.
And yeah, you turn, and yeah, you can see the three of them have come in, and they're sort of in there looking around now.
Okay.
Immediately peels off to go help
No, not that.
whoever has either take charge or follow whoever has taken charge, depending on
Are you
rank
just
and
are you
appropriateness.
just using traditional medicine, or are you trying to cast spells?
The focus will be on traditional medicine unless someone is in fairly critical danger.
Give me a medicine roll.
But if someone is like very wounded, what's the word for very wounded?
Give me a medicine roll.
Okay.
Fucked up.
Crippled.
Yeah, probably lower end of injured or crippled, or less than that, but seems like they're getting worse,
Yeah.
I will use my magic.
Yeah.
Again, deferring to anyone of a higher rank who might be leading the charge.
Yeah, there's a like a Shugenja of the Dragon Clan there healing people.
Yeah.
So, just give me a medicine roll.
Okay, that's under skills. 18.
So you notice that a lot of these injuries seem to be broken bones.
Okay.
Very precisely broken as well. Not like somebody fell out of a tree and broke like 4 different places. It's like this person has a broken elbow. This person has a broken knee. It seems like something took these people apart. Like in such a way as without using like a sword or anything, like just smashing bones. And one of the people that you're sort of healing keeps going on and on about a demon of some kind.
I will listen, but like I'm not pushing for details or investigating too carefully. I'm being careful, but I am prioritizing their health at the moment.
Yeah, this person seems like he's in shock, and he's just like repeating Oni, 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 like over and over again.
Well, that's concerning.
Just a little.
And so, well, that's off to one side. None of you can hear that. Hisoka, Akane, and Hayato, you have sort of regrouped at the door.
The attack.
Do I use any of my spells?
No, it doesn't seem like nobody that is here seems to require magical healing. You do get a sense that there were more people left behind that probably would have been able to use it, but at this point, probably not anymore.
Yeah.
The attack happened near the southern fork in the road towards the 2 ports.
One port. The other one's not a port.
Shinrin Nohashi isn't a port? Oh,
No,
okay.
it's a logging town.
Right. Oh, okay, gotcha. Apparently, these loggers were beset by an assailant and fled for their lives, as one might assume from the state of their injuries.
We don't know what it is.
We don't, but considering the fact that apparently they were not fleeing from someone, but something, according to the cart driver.
I mean, that's definitely a good place to start.
This may delay our mountain camping expedition if we choose to investigate this first.
Yes, but this is a stronger lead.
I would agree.
Sounds like we have a destination. Start making arrangements.
Okay. Do any of you go and check on Hinata or see what Hinata's doing, or just leave Hinata to heal?
Hayato is going to go check on Hinata and see.
So you get over there probably as Hinata is like setting a leg.
Okay.
Look over.
What do we have?
It seems that they were attacked. And she'll sort of, once that person's a little bit more stabilized, pull a little bit away, so I'm not forcing the person to relive their trauma directly in front of them.
That's nice of you.
And relay what I've learned. Most of the injuries don't seem to be caused by a weapon, but precisely broken bones. At least one reports the presence of an Oni, and they all seem to be rather distressed.
I understand an Oni can have that effect, yes. I believe your betrothed is arranging circumstances so that we can go investigate this. Do you need to remain behind and care for these citizens? The implication is very much you don't need to remain behind and care for these citizens.
John, here's the question. Do they, like, are they well enough staffed?
Yes.
Okay.
For this level of injury, yes.
No, I was just making my services available while others tended to related matters in the area.
Of course.
Yeah, none of these injuries are severe enough to be life-threatening. None of these
Yeah.
are, at least.
Refer to
So-
the other medics, anything that I was sort of working in the middle of, and excuse myself.
Okay. So, Hisoka, how do you mean by arranging matters?
Well, first thing is talk to the magistrate.
Mhm.
Determine see if he needs any help arranging getting the people that are hurt, getting them settled away at the moment. Letting him know that we will be departing for to check into this.
Mhm.
Which means that we will not be checking back at the cave within a day. So stay on guard just in case.
He indicates that he will send a pair of Bushi out to investigate the cave.
More. Okay. And if he finds anything, what's the distance to where we're probably going to be traveling? At least to where
Half a day's ride.
a half day. Okay, that's fine then. Yeah, and otherwise, as long as that information is passed along, I'm going to go find Hayato.
I am right there.
Oh, there you are.
Talking to your girlfriend.
I would like to get a message along of our progress so far.
Of course. Will you be writing it, or shall I?
Yes. Oh,
Oh.
yes. Yes to the first.
Will you be writing it, or shall I?
Or shall I? Yes.
So you
Right.
want to dictate to
I'm
me?
sorry.
is what you're saying.
I'm sorry. Not yes. Of course.
Perfect. Excellent. Once you have completed your message, I will arrange for it to be returned to Kizakidomo.
Thank you.
And I'll go take care of that.
He is going to give a pretty full accounting. Well, no, an exact, detailed, unfiltered accounting of exactly.
Everything that's happened?
Yes.
All right.
A situation report.
Akane, while they're doing things, what are you doing?
She might not be on the same level as the samurai, but she's still more fighter than anything else. And so here, in a situation where fighting is the exact last thing that needs to happen, she's kind of lost.
In the same position as that cart driver.
So she's mostly just being very strong and able to help if anyone needs a body lifted and carried or heavy objects moved.
Yeah, so you're helping move people into more comfortable positions, basically.
Once Hinata and Hayato have reunited with the group, Hinata will actually seek out Akane. And just, again, sort of confer what she's learned of the injuries and while they were traumatized civilians, reports of what sort of creature attacked.
Yes, that's the key.
The report says an Oni.
That
Yes, but I
That-
also know the
that
kind of
says-
injuries.
Yeah. Give me a
You
shadow.
want to
land.
bag that up for us?
Give me a Shadowlands lore, Akane.
Oni means
It was a large
literal
group of civilians
nothing.
attacked in a forest, and their bones were broken in this sort of way.
Very
they
vague.
seem to describe
28.
Oh no, it was given to you very vague. Oni don't leave survivors.
That's a fair point, actually.
Oni eat people, like whole. Oni
Like
scoop you
popcorn.
up, throw you in their mouths while murdering other people.
Yes, well, the assumption is not that was actually
Yeah, no,
accurate.
that's just what Akane knows about
Yeah,
Oni.
it's like this is what I know.
Like you give information and Akane processing. Oni
Does not compute.
If an Oni was there, then there were a lot more people that died than made it here. Also, they broke their own bones because Oni don't break bones. They rip you in half and eat you.
Well, given the information we
So I haven't
do
said
have
anything
about
yet.
the kind of injuries, what kind of creature might have been responsible?
I haven't said anything yet.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all in Akane's head.
This is just me processing.
This is the X-ray comes over Akane's head, and then there's like a little cartoon film of an Oni going just smash, rip, eat.
I was thinking Sherlockian, just words start floating around the screen for no apparent rhyme or reason, but somehow they're all related.
That's you.
Oh yes,
That's you.
For Akane, it's more of like
It's more like the battle sense thing.
yeah. For Akane, it's more like if you like the No Theater, where it's just like shadow puppet portraits of just like giant shadow creature pulling down, ripping something apart.
I mean, I was gonna say haze of drunken stupor.
Oh no. This is a cold pit of fear. Like the warrior in the other room scared you on like an instinctual level. This scares you on an intellectual level.
Like I know what an Oni does.
Yeah.
I know what some Oni do. Because as I'm supposed to say, Oni come in a variety of forms. There are a nearly infinite number of different kinds of Oni. Oni is a very broad term, but the one thing that is universal about an Oni, if it was a true Oni that managed to make it all its way down here, away from the Shadowlands, none of those people would still be alive.
Yes, I suspected that their report of the kind of creature was likely inaccurate. However, given the wounds, the MO, do we have any idea what this could have been?
It certainly
If it was indeed a monster, not.
I'll be honest. The one thing that we have seen thus far that we know is in the valley that matches this style of brutality is Akujin.
That might make sense.
And the powerful Lost could certainly be mistaken for an Oni.
Especially by someone with no familiarity with the details of things.
If it was an Oni, and even if it was Akujin, he'd likely let them live. For some specific reason.
Remind me, again, it's been 2 weeks. Is this one of those settings where, like, if people are afraid, that spreads the darkness?
Yes.
Oh. Well, there is a very possible reason for that, but...
Yes.
Fear of the Shadowlands does help spread the Shadowlands.
That's why the Crab Clan, the insane berserkers, are the ones at the wall.
They don't
Because
stand-
everyone else is reasonably scared, and that is a problem.
Well, the Crab Clan also have fear. They just drown it in alcohol and drugs. And
Yeah,
rage.
they don't let their fear immobilize them.
Yeah, which is why they fight it.
Everyone feels fear. It's what you do with that fear that makes you a warrior.
So yeah. So you all reconvene after Hayato has sent off a message. You're not certain from where, but a dove goes flying. And the four of you reconvene. I'm assuming outside the magistrate's office.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Proper people have been notified. Is there anything else we need to accomplish before we head out?
Can I make an etiquette roll?
For what?
Hayato would like to know if co-opting the cart, since that driver was headed down the road and assumedly needs to go back there.
Give me an etiquette
Like,
roll.
is it okay?
Can we rattle
21.
on that cart?
Well,
right.
you know he wanted to be useful.
Okay. I would advise we ask the driver, who was the healthiest witness to this event, if you would be so
yes.
kind as to
Yes, Hinata?
show us where it is.
Etiquette question from the non-ninja. Is that putting a civilian in unreasonable danger and or otherwise being against the whole
Give me an etiquette roll.
obligation to help thing?
I love that there's a roll for this. It's great.
He's a
Not
peasant.
right,
His
because it
job is
means
to
I'm
help
gonna
out people who
fail
are
it.
better than him, Hinata.
10.
I mean, there certainly is an element of putting this person in danger. However, if he's willing to do it, then that is his choice.
Then she won't say anything.
Like, so long as, forcing someone into danger, unless it's absolutely required, absolutely no. But if he's willing to, then that's a separate question.
I mean, and he's headed in that direction anyways. Better that he travel with a group of fairly capable combat people than by himself.
His name is Hisako. He's that one.
This will be a fun conversation. I hate you, John.
I have to get my
Yes, I
fun
will
somewhere.
You
You guys have a healer, so it's hard to kill you.
We
have actually, that's not out yet.
we come across a Bushi by the name of Akina.
No, it is.
Oh, it is out. No, it got published today.
No. Yes. Somebody got murdered yesterday. Anyways, yeah, I will approach him. I'm already Hisako. I'm assuming that you were planning to head back in that direction.
Yes, it was.
Would you be so gracious as to allow us to travel with you? We want to go and investigate this, and it would be quicker if we were to come with you, and conversely, it would allow us to protect you a little bit better than you might be going on your own.
I'm more than happy to assist you.
Thank you. It is much appreciated.
When you're ready, let me know. I will get the cart.
Okay.
So you go,
Turn
ready.
around.
All right.
Hinata's just sort of standing there, completely upright, gives the slightest smile, nod.
Hayato isn't there anymore.
Is actually just a nod, yeah.
So you all pile in the cart and head off down the road.
How are you gonna be stealthy right now?
I'm sneaking off
In
to
the
see
cart.
how much blood is in the cart before we get in it.
Yeah, you go and look at it. It's pretty clean. There wasn't.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like anybody that got into the cart was bleeding.
The good news is on
Just
the way
broken
into
bones.
town, they found a hose and just.
Anybody
Broken
that was,
bones are frequently accompanied by a large amount of spilled blood.
well, depends.
But anyway.
Depends
Yeah.
on how they were broken.
No bones have ripped the skin.
No compound fractures. Okay.
Also, you did see they were all bandaged when they got out of the
Ah,
cart,
okay.
so presumably
That
they were
helps things
bandaged
too.
before they got in the cart.
Man, this guy is real. This cart driver is like, he knows his shit.
Hey. Drive a cart up and down, you're going to get some injuries. You have to know first aid.
Yep. If you're a
Deserves a
logger,
commendation.
you also need to know first aid.
That-
because
I can
True.
say
trees
that
fall on
to
people.
the rest. Actually, I think Hayato has a rank in medicine.
Not yet. Soon.
So it's always good to have some first
Okay,
aid
then I could
knowledge.
say that to some of us.
It's true.
Yes, you could.
As you guys get in the cart and head south, we're going to take a quick break. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Go stretch your legs, grab a drink, get some food, and
Okay.
we're back.
Back to the healer who.
And we're back. And thank you to Antitonic for 6 months subscription. 6 months, that's almost 6 months. It is indeed almost 6 months. Thank you for that. Anyways. So, the four of you, riding on a cart that previously housed many injured people, travel back down the road, heading towards the fork in the road that leads towards Ichizoku no Minato and Shinrin no Hashi. As you get near it, the cart pulls off. The cart pulls off towards the river, where it stops, and the driver points at a vaguely. It looks like a forested clearing. It looks like they were making an incursion, like sort of just like an incision into the forest to pull out only like a certain row of trees, so that the forest could then reseed and they could go like like foresting in rows rather than clear cutting. And he sort of points down this darkened row of trees.
Wow, nice to know that Fantasy Japan has better resource conservation than modern logging companies do.
I mean, you know, some people.
It's not like I'm salty about it or anything.
Some people think when they are, you know, using a finite resource.
Pillaging the landscape. Anyway.
And these trees are still fully, you know, green, and that's why they're being harvested, because they're evergreens. Yeah, and he just sort of points down across the river to where they came from.
Thank you.
Hop out of the cart.
Can hunting be used in this instance, or is that dishonorable to like?
Hunting is not a dishonorable skill.
Okay.
Hunting is a high skill, I think.
That's a bougie skill.
Boogie skill. Yeah. Boogie.
I don't know how you pronounce it.
Okay.
I don't know. Is it dishonorable to hunt like
People?
where people, not people, but where people were dying?
No, it is not.
Looking. Okay.
It is
Most dangerous game, y'all.
22.
not. Well, first you have to get across. Right now, mostly what you can see is the wet grass, where it looks like it looks like the cart driver used his cart as a bridge to get people away over the river, which you see as you guys all get out. You see him backing the cart into the river so that you guys can get across.
Okay, so we need to cross to the other side of the river in order to
to get to the forest, yeah.
In order to get to the site. Okay.
So yeah, he backs the cart into the river and indicates for you all to climb over and across.
I appreciate that.
And as I said,
So this is not like a navigable river. This is a small river.
This is a fairly large river. Like it's not so large that the cart, this particular part of it is fairly narrow, but it's also deep. They ride logs down the river. So
Okay. So it is a big river.
yeah.
Burling down white water.
That's what they do, except they do it in a Japanese fashion
Rather than a Canadian fashion.
rather than a Canadian fashion, which means basically less plaid.
Same amount of dancing, apparently.
Same amount of dancing, far less plaid. So, do you all cross?
Is there a roll necessary to get across the river?
With the use of the cart, there is still a roll necessary, but it is reduced in TN. That roll is going to be
Athletics?
Yes. Athletics.
Athletics. 24.
So Akane goes and just like gets to the end of the cart, and there's still a good amount of water between the edge of the cart and the other end of the river. But Akane just and just jumps across to the other side.
Who bears across?
Hayato, you sort of see where there is sort of a line of vines like sort of hanging in the water, and you reach down, grab it, and use it to pull yourself across the river, so you don't get dragged away with the current. Hisoka, you sort of follow Hayato's lead. And athletics roll to get across the water, unless there's another way you'd like
30.
to get across. 30, yeah, you also just sort of go back. You're light enough. You actually just do like a sort of a running jump off the cart and land on the far side.
You float.
Yeah, it's kind of the Peach.
Yeah, I was saying you do the
Peach's
Peach thing where you just
superpower
kind of like
in the Mario games, like just a little.
Yes.
I mean, I was thinking more this scene from Hero, but more thematically appropriate.
Just unruffled.
No, there is not wire foo. Thank you.
What, you
Not
mean
yet.
this isn't Exalted? Damn it, I got in the wrong game.
Not exalted.
I mean, there is
No.
wire foo. It's just a much
There
higher
is
level
wire
of
foo.
magic.
Oh, wait.
I can
This
get
isn't
that
Exalted.
spell.
Good, I'm in the right game.
Yes. Yes, you are.
Fuck Exalted.
So now you are on the other side. If anyone would like to roll hunting again, now that you're on the appropriate side,
Investigation.
investigation could also work.
Investigation I actually have a shot at.
25.
I'm better with hunting than investigation.
So all of
60.
you, all of you notice that yes, they came running out of the furrow in the forest.
Actually, I'm exactly the same on both, but
Yeah, they definitely came running from where they were harvesting.
Okay.
Yeah, best go see if there are any bodies.
Yarp.
Have you been speaking to the unicorns? Kiseki-sama.
I don't get that reference.
you said yarp.
So you all continue. Are you
I was
trying to
asking
be?
if you were talking to the gaijins.
I know for three of you I know the answer for three of you already, but I'm going to ask anyways. Are any of you being stealthy?
No.
No.
I am.
Well, it is dishonorable to be stealthy. That being said, you're also potentially going to be facing an Oni.
Uh-huh.
either-
Absolutely. And I will face it face to face like a soon-to-be dead man.
All right.
I'm already fairly confident.
No.
This is not,
I think it would be also dishonorable to use my fiance as a target. So I'm not doing that. I'm just not making a big deal out of my entrance.
I mean, I am. I'm already fairly confident that it's not an Oni because an Oni would have left no survivors. So
Yeah.
I'm fairly confident that I'm either going to find nothing, find a glorious death, or find something to kill. So
So you, the three of
I'm
you,
not
sort of,
being loud or declaring
Yeah.
my entrance, but I am not stealthing.
the three of you march on ahead. Hayato sort of falling back a little bit, and then off to one side, using the tree line for cover, like a good ninja. Like a good ninja, Hayato is there.
God damn it. I was literally thinking the same thing.
oh no.
I reached into your brain and pulled it out into reality.
Why would you do that? Why would you subject anybody to what's in my brain?
Because it's fun. Anyways, so you continue walking. Eventually, you come to a clearing. It becomes very evident that this was probably the farthest in this logging crew got, because in the clearing, the first thing you see are bodies strewn about all over haphazardly.
Matching injuries to the injured people.
No, these ones have holes in their chest.
Oh, god damn it.
Like,
Like something went through their chest. You know
Wait.
the injury left behind by a chest burster, except all the way through.
okay, so all the way through. That
Yeah.
was what I was going to ask. All the way through, or like somebody reached in, grabbed heart, and ripped out.
I mean, if they did, they reached through, grabbing the heart, and then
That's
pulled
also
back.
a possibility.
But it's like sort of center mass chest.
Yeah. So right
When
about
they
where the heart's
died, there
at.
was definitely a camera angle of the hole through the hole.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like the camera was looking
Yeah.
at their back, and they're just sort of bodies strewn about 15 to 20 people. Several of them armored.
I'm no longer convinced this wasn't an Oni.
It looks like it looks like the logging crew had guards, and these are the guards. Several of
Somebody
them.
knows how, Somebody knows how to use the 5-point palm exploding heart technique.
Several of them seem to have been thrown, so it's possible that some of the injuries occurred when their dead bodyguards were thrown at them.
What else do we see beyond dead people?
And sort of in the middle of this clearing, looks like on the most recently cut down tree, there is a figure. You can only see it from behind, and it doesn't seem like it's reacted to you yet. It's vaguely...
Don't worry. If it's alive, it will soon.
It's vaguely humanoid, with just sort of a mountain of black hair coming down their back and resting at the stump of the tree that they're sitting on. They seem to be sitting on this stump, cross-legged, with their arms sort of resting on their legs. And you can see their arms and bits of their shoulders, and you just see tattoos, inked and going down their shoulders, down to their arms and hands. Their skin looks blue, but that might just be the tattoo. And both of their hands and forearms are covered in dried blood. As they're just sitting there. Back to you.
I'm fairly certain I know who this is.
Soka, in his infinite idiocy.
Oh,
so go ahead.
But I was going to say, does this individual's appearance and physiology at all match a description that might have been given to me somewhat earlier?
You can't not... The hair, certainly. The rest of the form, you're not 100% certain. It's not standing yet.
Right.
So Hisoka, in his infinite idiocy, takes a step forward. Stand and identify yourself, please.
You don't get a response.
Hayato's trying to sneak around.
I'm going to... Can I... Investigation? Is he alive?
Sure, give me an investigation check.
28 for stealth. He's just trying to angle around so he can see the guy from the front.
All right, so you angle around and you see...
27.
You're not certain. You don't see shoulders moving or anything. Like, you would normally see shoulders moving as they're breathing, but you don't see...
So then he starts moving forward.
How does he seem like he's just taking a step forward, or does he seem like he's moving up?
He looks like he's starting to walk up to...
He's not just going to try and reach out and catch his hand.
Your patrol grabs your hand.
Stop, look back.
Completely impassive expression.
You fucking...
Be careful.
Idiot. Okay.
What's Akane doing?
Just kind of hands just kind of up towards the machete, gripping it. Hasn't drawn it yet. But...
You're not so. And also for you, Akane in particular. Normally, when there's a powerful like Shadowlands creature nearby, there's a pressure in the air. You're not feeling that pressure.
Yeah.
Hayato, you sort of circle around and get behind, and you sort of looking at it from the front, you now see the person's skin is pale like human skin. You see their face, their eyes are closed, their face is relaxed. They have tattoo. Looks like the tattoos that you could see from the back go up the neck and then down their sides, but leave like sort of an untattooed area in the front. And they're just wearing black pants, hakama, that are sort of tied at the ankles so they're not loose fitting. Bare feet, not wearing nearly enough to be sitting in this cold weather, not shivering. But
what was that about their face? You broke up there a minute.
No, sorry. Their face is normal looking. Their eyes are closed. Very strong jawline, very well muscled from what you can see, but not overly so. And they're just sort of sitting in a meditative pose. They don't appear to be breathing, from what you can tell. There's no mist coming out of their face as one would when breathing.
Right. And they give no indication, I assume, that they've noticed that I'm there.
Eyes are closed, so yeah.
Wasn't one of the what were the effects of that tattoo that got stolen?
You don't know.
No food and drink. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I know.
Only Hisoka and Hayato know, but doesn't require you to eat or breathe.
Oh, or
Eat,
breathe.
drink, or breathe.
Oh, or breathe. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, if I remembered eat and drink, I did not know breathe. Okay.
Actually, no, it might have just been eat and drink. Let me double
I
check
thought
that
it was
one.
just eat and drink.
There is another tattoo that
Breathe
lets
is
you,
not in my notes, but I'm technically not supposed to know this.
There's
It's just
there's another tattoo that lets you go without breathing. I may be confusing that one with the other one. Let me double check. You no longer have any need of food or drink, although you may still partake. Yeah. So the one that was stolen, you don't have to eat or drink.
Okay. Hayato is very quietly just gonna pull out a dart and dip it in a small vial.
Okay.
And slide it into a blowgun.
Okay.
And wait.
All right. So Hisoka, you are walking towards this figure.
Mm-hmm.
Are you walking slowly?
Slow or fast, it's really not gonna matter. If they're dead, then might as well get to them quickly. And if they're not dead, might as well get this started. So
I think you mean over with.
yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, walking. I mean, not like running up, but walking with some,
I'll keep a distance where I can get to him in one move if I need to.
Okay. And Akane? Are you staying
just-
back or walking?
I'm keeping close enough to help defend people if a fight starts, but just kind of hand-on weapon.
All right. So you approach.
Yep.
How close are you getting?
Is there any reaction as I'm getting closer?
Doesn't seem to be yet.
I'm getting within arm's reach,
Okay. You are within arm's reach.
and I'm reaching out.
You reach out. You grab him.
Yes.
You touch his shoulder.
Uh-huh.
It is icy cold.
And I walk around him. Get a better overall view.
Hayato, you see Hisoka step in your line of fire.
Right, and I kind of angle off to the side so that I've got at least a
And
flank
yeah,
shot.
so you now see this meditative form from the front. And you see all these tattoos going down his arms and sides. And you definitely can see that his hands are covered in dried blood. And something about him looks familiar. Make me a what lores do you have?
Heraldry, Bushido, and
Give me a heraldry roll.
Shadowlands.
Give me a heraldry roll.
19.
While there were no details, the silhouette of this figure matches the silhouette of the monk on the history scroll who was said to have defeated an Akujin.
Okay.
Now that you're seeing him from the front.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through that in my mind and remember what that.
You had asked about Akujin, and
Yes.
the elder, the monk had said that there was a legendary member of the Dragon's Den monks who had defeated an Akujin in single combat with his bare hands.
Yes.
And that was a history scroll. And this figure sitting here before you matches the silhouette of that scroll.
That was a long time ago, though,
It was.
right?
It was. Hundreds of years ago.
Okay. So Ahsoka tries not to look ridiculously confused. 37, he does not look ridiculously confused.
Gets sort of an inquisitive look on his face, like,
And I'll wave everybody up, because he doesn't seem to be killing anybody at the moment.
You all come around to the front and see the same thing.
Medicine?
Hayato
Demon.
stashes all of his ninjutsu accoutrement before he comes out of the woods.
Right. Hayato appears next to you, Hisoka. Yeah, give me a medicine roll.
Akane's hand never actually leaves the machete.
Yeah, that was probably the right response. 14.
Looks like a dead guy.
Okay.
Like, you're not... You haven't, like... Are you trying to touch him to confirm?
Well, if
Or
this
just-
were a corpse, can I do the medicine check required to confirm it is a corpse, or is that bad in touching dead people and stuff?
It's not necessarily bad, but you'd have to touch him to really confirm. Like, you have to check for a pulse. And everything.
Yeah. I'll sort of indicate for the others to give it some space just in case. And, like, check for a heartbeat, stuff like
So,
that.
so you sort of get up and, like, get up close to, like, sort of get up underneath the neck. And as you do, your fingers touch the thing, and you feel his throat vibrate as he speaks. Why, you're a curious one, aren't you? And you all hear that.
Inato will
His
stand.
mouth doesn't move when he speaks, does he?
No, it does.
Oh, it does? Okay.
I mean, if his throat vibrates, probably his mouth moves.
All right, we're fighting Palette Swap Akuma today.
Hayato is immediately right at Hinata's elbow.
It's amusing that you think you could do anything if I chose to murder her.
For a man of such power, your sense of courtesy is surprising.
Well, I find that when those of importance are intimidated, scared, made to run away, it has a much greater effect than when peasants are sent flying.
Who is of importance here?
Why, the son of Kisaki Dono, of course. And the way he says Dono is like acid dripping. And his betrothed. And his dog. Looking at Hayato.
Oh, his eyes are open now?
Yes, you notice his eyes open as he says dog. And like just open up and stare at you. His eyes are purple. And the failure. His eyes sliding over towards Akane. Nothing has moved except for his mouth and eyes.
Yeah.
I do not wish to jump to conclusions, but unfortunately, my position demands to ask.
Hinata is
If this
prepared
is
to
your
duck if
handiwork.
Akane's sword comes across over her head.
Okay. Sorry, what were you asking, Hayato?
If this is your handiwork.
Of course. When one wishes to have guests, one must send out an appropriate invitation.
Indeed.
Well then, would you care for tea?
sorry. Hinata does not work.
Thank you. That is most gracious.
Yes.
He unfolds his legs. And you now see that there's a hollow in the stump he's sitting on. And he reaches in and pulls out a teapot.
That's amazing.
Pulls out a cup. Pours. Hands a cup to Hayato.
Thank you. Is there anything weird that I can tell about the tea?
Seems like normal tea.
Okay.
I don't care. Pressing a hand, like, not necessarily hidden, but sort of with the subtlety of being, like, in court or a social situation. And anti-poison, which might not do anything, but hey.
Okay. You...
Yeah, and success.
Mhm. Pours another cup. Hands it towards Hisoka.
I take it.
What are the odds that I need a willpower roll right now?
Pretty good.
Okay, yeah.
Like I said, I'm prepared
He did
to
call you,
duck if
like,
a sword
He
comes
literally
across.
called
He
you
literally
a
called me
failure.
a failure.
Pours another cup. Hands it to
I
Hinata.
think that actually makes it though. Hang on.
I think it does.
I think the DC for Brash is 25.
Pours another cup and holds it out towards Akane.
It is 25.
Wow.
You can
succeed
still
by one.
You can still choose to fail. As he holds the cup out towards you, looking at you.
Oh no.
You know, I trust Akane to not be stupid enough to drink the tea, so I am spending that second one on Hisoka. 21 also succeeds, and not.
My mouse is hovering over the Shadowland machete attack.
Hayato takes a sip of his tea.
It tastes like tea. It's not the best tea you've ever had. It's not the worst tea you've ever had.
Okay.
I think that's what's happening right now, is Akane's hand is just kind of tightening on the machete that's in the ground right now, sort of gauging how much is going to be lost more than just her life if she takes this swing right now.
And he's just holding a cup out towards you.
She's not responding to the cup.
I assume you have...
But I am
Things
standing
you
in
wish
front
to
of
say.
Hisoka.
Yes. I have an ultimatum I would like you to deliver to your noble father.
Very well.
He says, looking at Hisoka.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Tell him that his time, and his clan's time, in this land has come to an end. This is my territory now. And you have a month's time to vacate before I've personally vacated for you.
I will pass along that message, of course.
Okay, so the weight of I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a duty question.
Mm-hmm.
There is a weight of not wasting your talents and throwing yourself into something that you know you can't win.
Yes.
But there's also the weight of this is someone who is quite literally threatening the Lord threatening to kill the Lord that I serve, and I am not supposed to let that person walk away.
It's true.
Which of these do I feel is currently becoming the heavier decision?
That's up to you. That's up to all of you, by the way.
I am so fucking close, but But it's almost it's more calculating indifference than anger.
No, we live for stupid decisions.
I actually think the real problem is I don't have an attack spell. But yeah, I am standing between Hisoka and this mess of stupid.
How is Hayato responding to this information?
Hayato's his gaze kind of narrows a little bit as he hears this, and he bows fairly deeply, trying to give as much of the sort of bow that you would give to a foreign or external individual who widely outranks you. Can I make a stealth roll to use this to conceal drawing Yukigiri and immediately just attacking this guy full attack?
Sure.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Right.
There's. I think at the same time I am just like overhead swinging.
All right. So before those two attacks go off, Hisoka,
That's a 36.
how are you reacting to this information?
I was in the middle of a sentence that
Yeah,
I
so
honestly
yeah.
I can't remember what I was saying.
Okay.
Um,
I think you had said that I will certainly pass that on. And there had been a period there, which I think is why people started talking, because it sounded like you were at the end of it. But
I'm at a loss to remember what I was, because there was somewhere I was going. I can't remember at the moment.
We were handed tea.
No, I know. It's not a matter of being reminded. I just yeah, just say that he pauses there to collect his words and then shit happens. Because yeah.
okay. Did you have any intention to also fight, or were you planning on just talking?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. So
I assume that's going to change very soon. But
it may or may not. So you sort of pause, and in that sort of moment in time, you witness. Yeah, go ahead and make your attacks, both of you. You sort of witness, almost in slow-mo, like your perception of time is sort of off right now, as Akane swings overhead, trying to just cleave this guy in two, and from somewhere unknown, Hayato, coming from below, brings a sword out.
We got a 42 and a 43.
And Hinata just sort of, not necessarily knowing that they were going to attack, but expecting it, ducks out of the way of those attacks.
And so as Hayato comes in low and Akane comes in high, you hear the sound of metal on metal? And just sort of, your perception is so warped right now by what's happening. You blink, and Hinata and Hisoka and the rest of you too sort of look and realize that this man, without dropping the tea, has just put his elbow up, and the edge of Akane's machete is on his forearm but not cutting through. And the edge of Hayato's sword, actually not the edge, Hayato's sword is being held by the back by his other hand low.
Oh, he's actually grasping Hayato's sword.
Yeah, like with the back of it.
Yeah.
As he continues to stare directly at Hisoka.
Which sort of implies that he had to do more to stop the Shosuro blade, but
There's something about the edge of those things that.
And he doesn't seem to react any further than that.
Is there any other message that you wish passed along? Or is that the whole of it?
You may add on to whatever you wish, but that is the whole of my message.
If I may ask, I'm curious. What do you expect the response to be?
He looks over at Akane. And Akane, you're pushing.
Yeah.
And it's like you're pushing against a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And Hayato, you're trying to pull your blade away, and you can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Figured.
He sort of looks over at Akane, looks over at Hayato. There is typically only one response. But I figured I'd be a good sport.
That is most appreciated.
He just sort of shrugs his arm, and the machete into the ground.
I expect that we will be speaking again.
Obviously. And you can tell your father this message comes from Kairai Akujin.
Alright. I will do so.
And he lets go of Hayato's sword.
And it's sheathed, then back away, and his hands are empty again.
Okane, your machete is on the ground.
Unless it was forcibly ripped from her grasp, it went back at him again.
Okay, make another attack.
30.
Right. So he passes the tea over to his other hand, reaches out and just sort of grabs the machete blade and slams it into the ground. What's your armor, Tian?
25. I know, it takes he can roll low on all of his dice and still hit that.
Well, not necessarily, because there's an upper limit of 10. What's his roll?
Yeah, but once you start breaking that limit of 10, you start getting flat modifiers.
I mean, it's true. He's not that powerful. He just has a really stupid high armor, Tian.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Does a 77 hit you?
Yes.
Okay. You know, have to check. Choose.
And this is where I go from completely uninjured to out in one blow.
So you take 53 points of damage. As
With
he,
my armor?
with your armor, as he plants the machete in the ground, lifts up, still keeping the tea in his other hand, and spins on his hand, kicking you square in the jaw.
Damn!
And,
I'm actually only crippled.
and you just go flying backwards, your hand leaving the machete as you hit the ground. And he then very calmly sits back down where he was and takes his hand off the machete.
And she just kind of, from the ground, takes a second to breathe. And then just kind of, leans up, likely with a broken jaw.
Oh, yeah.
And just kind of with her hand kind of wipe some of the blood from her jaw.
And you're still not feeling any of that pressure that you would expect to be feeling.
And, through that halfway broken jaw, I'm still here.
I know. If I'd wanted you dead, I would have gone for the heart.
I'm. Can I remain between this person and Hisoka and also get to touch range with Akane?
No, Akane got launched.
Okay.
Hayato finishes his
I
tea.
will look. Go.
Immediately rushes off.
Yes.
With my stupid movement, I probably get there pretty fast.
I have a plus 20 to all of my TNs right now, but I'm still conscious.
Places a hand. And just like on the shoulder, not necessarily encouraging or discouraging, but I need you still alive, and you haven't completely died, so I have to do this.
Looking over at Akane and looking back, I figured a demonstration would be appropriate
well,
so that you could inform your father that I am quite capable of fulfilling my promise.
Nobody doubts that.
No.
But
But certainty is better than assumption.
I would say that was unnecessary. But what's done is done. I do have one final question before the message is relayed.
Ask.
Do you plan to just stay here where you are?
It is comfortable. I may move around, but
Respectfully, clearly you are in a situation where should you determine that the eventual response is not for your liking, you'll be able to go wherever you want in order to achieve it. I don't believe you will be helping your cause by occupying territory just yet.
oh, don't worry. This show was merely to get your attention.
I understand that. What I am saying is, if you could, it would be most appreciated if you could.
And let the loggers get back to their work.
Stop fucking with the civilians?
They didn't kill any of the civilians, only the guards.
If you could make your resting place for the time being somewhere perhaps a bit more removed from our towns and villages, somewhere perhaps a little bit more remote.
Give me a courtier roll.
All right.
Do you have an emphasis in courtier?
No, I do not.
Right. Just make a courtier roll.
Do have okay. Actually, can I make a case for etiquette where I do have an emphasis in courtesy?
Etiquette is more knowing things. Courtier
Yeah,
is
okay.
relating them.
25?
He looks at you. Smiles.
He gives a polite, thoroughly respectful smile back
And he
that says, "Yes, I know I'm asking for ridiculous things. For God's sake, say yes."
he drinks the tea that Akane didn't want. Puts the cup down. Very well. I will relocate to something more beachfront. and he
Damn it.
and he pushes off the log with one foot, and rather than like hopping up like a normal person does, as he pushes off, he just floats backwards towards the tree line, grabs a limb, and takes off along the trees.
Damn it! I was gonna be all like super courteous and give him his cups back.
He left the cup there and the tea set.
Mine now.
You think it probably wasn't his to begin with.
You know, the thought had occurred to me.
As with her machete lying like 20 feet from her, Akane pulls her katana and sheath off of her belt and uses it to stand up.
If it seems like he's retreated for the time being, another spell worth of healing, because that was a really fucking low, shitty roll.
Oh, do I heal 6 from that?
Yes.
Okay. Better than
Okay,
nothing.
that's slightly better. 22.
Okay, so 28 total.
Yeah.
Which puts me down to 20, which actually I'm not even nicked.
So he turns around. Well, I believe we have somewhere we need to go. And a message that we need to deliver.
I think you're right.
And I think this one should be delivered personally. This isn't the kind of thing you trust to a bird.
Dear Dad,
That's not how
Demon
it's
King
supposed-
wants to kill you.
That's the equivalent of like
Have a month to
texting.
relocate.
Yeah.
So I crashed the
Your
card
dad.
and overdrafted my credit card.
Your dad, Kairi Akujin wants to kill you. Do you agree? Checkbox Y, checkbox X.
Y/N question mark?
So, as you pick your Crab Clan Berserker up off the ground,
She picks herself up, thank
I was
you.
gonna say, I doubt she lets us
you,
pick her up.
the
No.
collective
No,
you.
because I can be shady. I can do shade with this. When like the first one only healed 6, and so you're getting up kind of with my strength of 4, just sort of puts you back on your feet and heals you. Don't-
And you sort of like reset Akane's jaw. Just
Yeah.
That you only got hit in the face, but you're sore all over.
I mean, I kind of
going over
skated
to
along the ground for a bit.
Hayato, medicine check. Like I don't actually have one of the little light things doctors use, but like
Yeah.
checking to make sure
Medicine roll.
not poison, doesn't seem to
Yeah,
be suffering
give me
any
medication.
negative
Give me medicine roll.
effects.
Jack's muted on his phone.
Yeah, I know. 8.
Doesn't
God
seem
That's a
damn it.
meditation roll.
Oh, okay. That like it's really far across the thing. 18.
seems fine. I mean, they're also right next to each other, so yeah, no, he seems fine. Doesn't seem like he was poisoned at all.
Yeah, it's the columns are pretty long, I think is the issue I'm
Yeah.
having.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like he doesn't seem to. I'll keep an eye on it. But
Hisoka also had a drink of the tea, if you wanted to check. But so
Oh.
did Kairai.
well, in
so-
that case, I probably no. She would have gone to Hayato first, and then sort of remembers herself, goes over, does the same with Hisoka.
Hisoka didn't die. That's right. That's
I mean,
Yep.
I don't think that I ever actually said I drank the tea.
Oh, sorry.
I thought you
Yeah,
did.
I'm the only
I
one that
was
drank the
holding
tea. I
it
think.
the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
was
all right.
I
assuming.
still
Never mind.
have a full cup of tea
Oh, never
in
mind
my
then.
hand.
Never mind.
I'm
then.
the one that drank the whole cup of tea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I misunderstood.
Sorry.
It is- It
That's
is
what I thought.
polite and required to accept the tea. It is not required to drink the poisoned tea.
Yes.
And
I warded you against it anyways. But
as we all recover from the meeting with Akujin, now having a face to put to the name, that is where we're going to end for this week. So, say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.